Fixin' to ride.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Fixin' to ride. Andrew here, working on my O2 CR800 today. One thing that I noticed with this sled, and I think a lot of people kind of complain about it, is that the suspension was kind of soft. So people would get new springs and do other things. Well, I thought mine was soft too, and so I decided to change the rear bracket arm and move it back one hole. Well, let me show you what I found. And obviously this is my fault because I put it back together, but I put it back together the way I found it. So it is what it is, and hopefully it's gonna ride better now. So check it out. All right, so currently I have everything apart. First thing you wanna do obviously is get the sled up off the ground, and then there's a bolt here that holds the two springs and the slides in. And obviously it's got its post that goes there that the slide pivots on. This bolt is actually from another spare skid, so I like to just put stuff through there and just tap it through lightly, and that way it holds everything into place. Well, you just take the 9/16 inch nut and off of this side, and then carefully grab this whole assembly because the arm is up. This torsion spring arm is way up here. So I'll make sure you have nice thick gloves on just in case, you know. It'll lessen the pain if you do get whacked by this sucker, because yeah, that thing whacks you, man, you're gonna be in a hurt locker. So I'll typically just grab it like this and then use my other hand to pull off the post and then just swing it down. And then once you swing it down, it takes all the pressure off right here. So then on the other side, you gotta that's why I use this bolt here. You can just lightly tap the other bolts, the bolt that goes through here, you just tap it all the way out the other side, and then do the same thing on the other side. And so there's a bolt that goes through here. Well, Cat sets these up to where there's 5 each. And so typically, you know what, I think I went by, I believe what the O2 manual said. I thought I did when I set this up for where this bolt was supposed to be. Well, with this action, you have the suspension, it'll collapse this way. And that's why you have these blocks here. It stops it from wheeling, you know, and all the other stuff that goes along with it. Well, it was in this front one and it just seemed like it was real soft. So I'm moving it to this middle one now, and I'm gonna try it there. And to do that, to be able to get all this loosened up, obviously you gotta take this nut off, pop that bolt out, which comes out pretty easy if it's all greased properly. And then you'll wanna loosen up this bolt here, and this bolt here for these two cross braces. And then I just took a little clamp, well, not a little, it's a decent sized clamp, and I stuck it in there and just cranked it out to where it separated these two rails, and that really helped slide it back. So that's what I'm doing at this point. And yeah, hopefully this will give me, I am gonna have to take this and move it forward, and that way it doesn't, because this cross member is supposed to be one bolt hole in front of the lower rear arm brace bracket. So yeah, I'll have to pop this out, move it forward, and then yeah, hopefully it will have a little bit better suspension at that point, because it was pretty soft. And you know, this has the cross country rear shock. I had the front shock on there too, but I ended up taking it off because the bottom of it blew out. And then I never connected up the adjuster because I never adjusted it. It was just kind of stupid. And I think it started leaking too. The guy that I had doing it, or had rebuild it, it just ended up leaking shortly after, so I said screw it. And then I put another one of these, a brand new front arm shock in there. Well, this has clickers. I ended up setting these to 8, and that did help because it's got 1 through 8 as far as the compression and rebound setting. And the lower it is, the faster it moves, and the more it moves. The higher the number, the slower it moves, and the less it moves. So I found that when I put it on 8, it was better, but it's still, you know, going over some rough whoops there. It would, especially this past weekend, it bottomed. I could hear it bottoming out. Like it would go bzzz and bottom out on the thread or whatever the heck was going on. So that's why I'm doing this. So hopefully, you know, once I get this all back together, I'll have a lot better action back here. And, you know, you don't have to go and loosen up any of this crap or anything like that. So, yeah, I'm going to get this tightened up, move this, and then button it all back up, put these springs back on. So just wanted to show you the process there. And, you know, if it still seems like, I'm probably going to test it this weekend out in Brighton. They got some small trails out there and a little play, you know, pretty good play area. So I'll give it a test out there, and if it's still too soft, I'll move it back one more hole, you know, and then go from there. So got to do what you got to do, I guess. But that's why Arctic Cat put these adjusters here, or these holes here, so you could move this little rear bracket and, you know, adjust the suspension for what terrain or, you know, weight, I guess. You put it further back and it'll, you know, help with weight, help with your weight and weight transfer while you're on it. So I just figured I'd show you that real quick. I'll show you what it looks like when I get it all back together. It's pretty self-explanatory. You just pop this bolt out here, got the unloose on the other side, and then move this forward, pop the bolts back in, zing them in, tighten it back up, and then I could probably show you how I do this the other side. So I'll get that this stuff buttoned up and then show you how I do this. That. Sorry about the noise. I got the diesel heater running in here. Alright, so I got a little stand for it set up, just because the stand that I use to lift it up is too tall, and so to be able to get this stuff up under there, I gotta have the stand sitting, or I gotta have the sled sitting up before I can do it. I normally have that white post back there, and it grabs onto the rear bumper just with some grooves I cut out in it. It's tall enough to where I can get this up under there and then pop these guys in and out. I'm gonna go ahead and lower this thing down and see how it sits. Oh yeah, that feels a lot stiffer now. Heck yeah. So that is good. Alright guys, that's it. It's not a real tough job. You just gotta pop out, once you get it up, you gotta pop out the bolt for the 2 torsion springs. Carefully pop those out of the way. You can get hurt pretty bad with those, so be careful. And then once you have those done, you just undo the braces, undo the bolt for the bottom arm bracket, pop that out, move it, put it back in place, move the other bracket, the one that stops it from going forward. You got to get that one bolt hole in front of it, and then put it all back together. So yeah, I hope you guys found some useful tips on this video. Either way, if you guys have any questions, put them in the comment section. I'll get back to them as soon as I can. If you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button and the alert bell. That way we can come on back and see what we got going on in the next video. So hopefully you guys are getting out there, getting in the snow. We've got a good winter going on, man. It's been, gosh, what, 3 years since we've had a winter like this. So we're pretty pumped. We're getting ready to hopefully go up again for our 4th time this season already. So hopefully we're going to do that next weekend. So either way, you guys take care. We'll see you in the next video. God bless.